This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Now, let's talk about the 1980s, shall we? Yes, indeed. To be a successful guitarist in that decade and have hit records, then there was some essential equipment you needed. Obviously, you needed a guitar that had a pointy headstock and a Floyd Rose tremolo. It needed to say Ibanez or Charvel or Jackson on the headstock as well. You probably needed a multi-effects rack system the size of a wardrobe, and of course the obligatory suitcase full of hair care products and makeup. All apart from this fella. Yes, Billy Gibbons, he never really succumbed to much of that shenanigans, did he? So, and yeah, he was still having hit records, and this is, frankly, I think one of his best solos, and happens to be one of his best known. This is from the massive Gimme All Your Lovin. This is the solo and a brief explanation on how to play it. Okay, let's take a quick look at what's going on here. First of all, as always, we'll look at the chords. You've essentially got a C chord, F, G, and a B flat, which crops up fleetingly. More on that later. So basically, we've got kind of a bluesy sort of rock thing in C. And like any, blues man worth his salt, what Mr. Gibbons does here is biases everything quite heavily around a C minor pentatonic. And there's a certain note in that C minor pentatonic that whenever he hits it, he tends to bend it slightly sharp. It's the E flat note. Like that, because it bends it towards an E note, which is one of the notes in the in the C major pentatonic, which is also included. And now, rather than kind of playing a lick from one scale and then a lick from another scale, what he's doing a lot of the time is kind of morphing the two scales together into a hybrid scale, like this. Very, very commonplace thing in blues and rock and roll and rockabilly and country music. It's all over the place, that kind of mixture of major and minor pentatonics. I've lost count of how many times I've mentioned that when we've been looking at this solo or that solo. It is quite ubiquitous. So, that's the scales that are being used. There's only one note that comes from outside any of those scales, and we'll look at that in a wee moment or two. So most of the action takes place around this 8th fret area, like this. And I should also just mention that one facet of Billy Gibbons' playing that is, well known about is his use of pinched harmonics. Now, I didn't try and recreate the pinched harmonics as per the original track. I just kind of dig in with the flesh of the thumb. You're basically just grazing the thumb against the string as you're picking it, and just dig in, and what comes out comes out. So that kind of thing is, just, as I say, just kind of grind into the strings there, and just what comes out comes out. It's more of a haphazard approach that you need to take on a solo like this. As I say, most of the action takes place around this pattern of the C minor pentatonic. Again, notice that slight bend on the E flat, taking it towards the E. We start with those kind of licks like that. And then we have various instances of where we're getting, as I say, that E flat being bent towards the E, and you know, a couple of instances where you get that kind of thing there, where you're kind of hammering on from the E flat to the, that kind of thing. And in a couple of places there's just an outright kind of slide into the E like this. This double stop features quite heavily at one point in the song, like that, like that. Where was it go off that? Something like that. And then we kind of emerge out of that with this, that kind of lick there, and then we get some unison bend, that kind of thing happening. Again, all just taking place in and around that pattern of C minor pentatonic with occasional little forays into the major pentatonic as well. And then the big shift in the solo is when we first hit the F chord, when that comes in, and he basically moves up to here like this. Now you can look at these two notes, this A note and this C note, as being just part of C major pentatonic. There's a C major pentatonic pattern around here, like that, and then he adds in an E flat note here, so you get this, that kind of lick like there. But what's more significant about that is that the A note, the C note and the E flat note, which isn't in the C major pentatonic, you can view it as being from the C minor pentatonic, of course, but those three notes, the A, C and E flat, are all in an F7th chord, or, you know, an F chord as it would be played in a blues context. And then, remember I said there's a note from outside those two scales that crops up? Well, we get to that here, where he kind of slides that shape up, that which becomes a B and a D, that A and C becomes a B and a D, and those are two notes from the G chord, which has arrived by then, and he adds the F note in there, so you get that kind of lick like that, which is again a B note, a D note and an F note, three of the notes in a G7 chord, or a G chord as you would tend to play it in a blues. So that's kind of doing that, and then a little bit more shenanigans around that 8th fret area there for the C major and C minor pentatonics. Then we hit a big structural part of the solo where he's, this is where the B flat chord arrives. And what he does here is he slides into an E note and then plays two B flat kind of dyads down here, B flat power chords, like, so you get, and one cycle of that little thing is essentially 1.5 beats. So it's like 1 and 2. Then the next cycle of that goes on the and 2 and 2 and so on, until you've basically completed 2 bars of that with, I think it's 5 of those little cycles like that, and then one note at the end. And it's what you've got underneath that is just essentially no chord at all, or no bass line. The B flat chord happens right at the beginning of that little 2-bar cycle, and then the guitar kind of stands out with just the drums kind of echoing that rhythmically displaced beat underneath it. Then a bit more shenanigans around our you know, kind of C major and C minor pentatonics. Then it does that little riff again. And that's pretty much the solo in a nutshell, really. Hope you found this enlightening, and it's a fun solo to play, and lots of great licks in it. So, you know, grab them and see if you can incorporate them into your own bluesy rock soloing and licks. Have fun with it. And there is, of course, a full tab in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with the jam track to play along with, and that little clip that you saw of me demonstrating and explaining the solo right there. It's all up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description. And that's just a special thank you for all of my wonderful Patreon supporters who are helping me keep the lights on around here. Much, much appreciated, guys. Thank you so much. I'm grateful beyond words. And that's pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope you found it useful, informative, maybe even a little bit inspiring. And if you have, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not give me a like while you're at it? If you're interested in supporting the channel, all the links are down there in the description. As I say, you can join the Patreon. $3 a month and you get all of these additional resources for these YouTube videos, plus a couple of other Patreon exclusive goodies as well. Or you can enroll on one of my Udemy courses, or you can even buy a Fret Zealot and get a little bit of money knocked off. Or alternatively, if you're looking for gift ideas, then check out some of my wife's wonderful handmade genuine gemstone jewellery. Again, all the links are in the description. Thank you so much if you've done any of that, and thank you in advance if you're thinking about doing it. And with that, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.